This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 30th of April, 2019, and I am Tujay.
I am Tuam.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Star, UHURU silence triggers new central parties. Daily Nation, Unholy Trinity, Church, Money and Politicians.
Wow.
And The Standard, Civil Servants Payout Review rolled out. I struggle with that. Civil Servants Pay Review rolled out. Let's start there, since I struggled with it.
Yeah.
I think this is a useless headline, right? And
I would agree.
I will say this way. If it's a review, it happens. It's a HR issue, I am sure.
Yeah.
But I think what the Standard is trying to do is manufacture anger by using pay for government officials as something to stir up some sort of emotion.
Yeah.
They did it with the judiciary because they want nice cars to move about. I say, why not? They can have the nice cars.
Yeah, I agree. This is something that happens every few years. The last one happened 15 years ago, so this is just a normal routine review.
Yeah.
But we still have to ask the question.
Yeah.
Do our civil servants live unnecessarily extravagant lives?
I don't think so.
At the cost of the taxpayer?
I don't think so. No one complains when Safaricom or any other private entity reviews their pay scales for their employees. And no one complains when they get their bonuses at the end of the year. Now, civil servants don't get bonuses out of a taxpayer's money. Therefore, let them get their due wages.
On another day, I will tell you I don't like that term, taxpayers' money. But let's continue.
As a taxpayer.
It doesn't belong to taxpayers, to people.
Daily Nation, Unholy Trinity, Church, Money and Politicians.
Yes.
It's a spicy headline, isn't it?
It is.
But
I do like the headline. It's clickbait.
Who said it's unholy? Who determines what unholy is?
The Daily Nation.
Yes, the Daily Nation.
Let me tell you, in Italy, the Sicilian mafia has had long links with the church. Right?
They're very good, upstanding Catholics
Absolutely.
who go to Mass every Sunday.
In Mexico and Colombia, the Medellin cartel and the Sinaloa cartel have had extensive links with the church.
I hope there's a good point around the corner.
Yes.
I like where he's going. I'm not complaining.
I'm concerned.
Now, church money, the church has to run, so they need a little bit of money. Politicians can be sinners, they can be good doers. What's the problem?
Actually, what I take issue with is the calling of any money unholy.
Unholy, yeah.
Because who determines the holiness or the lack thereof?
Precisely.
And besides, isn't the church the place for all to go, regardless of our understanding of their
Now you see, Ms. K,
religious?
you have made a sober and logical argument.
It is
you
not,
cannot go and compare the cartels in Italy to the Medellin cartel in Mexico and say, look at Kenya, we're along with the same as them.
I see where you're coming from.
That is like a nonsensical argument.
I go high. You know, high.
When they come low.
High. Yeah.
I can't even understand this
If you don't get it. But look.
But wait, let's okay, fine.
Yeah.
I know we took out the Standard, but I want us to look at this headline more, and Tuji has called us to that, more critically.
Yeah.
So let's ask ourselves, let's use our criteria, and we have a three-part criteria that we use to break down these headlines for you. We ask ourselves, is this headline speculative or is it topical?
Yeah.
Is this headline repetitive or is it groundbreaking? And is this headline thoughtful or just plain lazy? By calling it an unholy trinity, are they bringing us into a discussion of the separation of church and state, or are they just regurgitating information that we already know?
Yeah, this is last week's story.
I don't think they're that sophisticated to do separation of state and church. Second, who gives the media the prerogative of calling other people unholy? If anyone is unholy, it is them.
Then let's not make any moral arguments and toss the headline
Almost
for
definitely
preaching what it's not delivering.
Agreed.
I'm glad she agrees now.
I agreed that the headline was nonsensical, but your argument was not logical.
The Star. The Star.
The Star.
Yeah.
UHURU silence triggers new central parties. And I have to mention that I think all the papers yesterday danced around this story because it appeared in their upper thirds, their lower thirds, and now today the Star has brought it to the forefront, together with a very sad picture of Kidero.
Yeah. But let's speak about UHURU silence triggers new central parties. I saw what Moses Kuria did. I think he has registered a party called Transformational National Alliance Party. It is mimicking what TNA was. And he's saying we should not have dissolved TNA into Jubilee. all right? But all this, in my view, and I think Kuria is right, I don't think Uhuru Kenyatta has done justice to the GEMA leadership.
Oh, most definitely, he's not. My biggest criticism of the presidency, of the president rather,
Yes.
has been that as we talk about succession, he's not done a sufficient job of choosing the person who's going to follow after him.
Yeah.
And I think as the leader of the GEMA people, that's a lot of people.
Yes.
You cannot have, be president for how many years?
10.
10 years, and then leave and say,
GEMA as a voting bloc is 5.6 million people. Voting bloc. By the time we're going to an election, you have 5.6 million voters.
Yeah.
That's on the register. Now, if you ignore these guys for the past 1 year, somebody else will take that mantle. And that is why, and also let's put it this way, no ruling party has actually gone into an election as is. NAC went into 2007 as PNU. PNU went
into the next election as TNA, and TNA
went into as Jubilee.
So are we saying Jubilee is dead?
Yes.
Imekufa kabisa.
Yeah.
And you had it first.
We used to
here
talk
on Winning
about
Headlines.
the ODM orphans, right? So
Yeah.
now we have the GEMA orphans. And, they need to find a new home.
Well, you can't blame them.
Yeah.
I would be, in the GEMA nation, I would be jittery if we have a large voting bloc, if we have economic and political interests that we do not see being secured, and the leader of our nation is very loudly quiet.
But also, let me say this. I think, let me reverse my position. Jubilee is in a coma.
Is a person who doesn't
Is in a
change
coma?
their mind.
Is in a coma.
Okay.
Right?
They're not dead.
And they say 99% in a coma. The 1%.
I don't think you can be 99% in a coma.
That's the same way you can't have
I still-
99% brain dead.
Yeah, precisely. And I also want to say this.
Impossible.
Just let me finish. I'm saying, I still want to keep that 1% because I think somewhere, Uhuru is swindling us. 2 years to come, they might just converge with Ruto back.
Do you know why I'm doubting that?
Yeah.
When we had State of the Nation, did we not say the same thing? We waited, we said he's going to do something crazy.
Well,
Nothing happened. Then after State of the Nation, we said it was too obvious. He wasn't going to do it then. He's going to do it after.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Here we are almost 3-4 weeks later.
I think we should stop
Nothing's
having
happening.
faith in Uhuru Kenyatta and start believing in the science of what he's been doing, which is nothing. On to our next segment, the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. And just like the headlines, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to break them down for you. We ask ourselves 3 questions.
Yeah.
Is this cartoon humorous or is it dry? Is it satirical or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy?
Yes.
Now that we tossed out the star with such vigor,
Yes.
We'll start with the star.
let's start there.
Yeah.
Very well.
I like this. Let me just put it into context.
Okay.
Best athlete ever to ever walk this earth, anywhere in the world, global, even in the universe, with all those planets. Eliud Kipchoge, right? There was an article by the Daily Mail yesterday
Yes.
insinuating that let us not just say how Kenyans are great, they probably just doped. Right? The guy probably won because, and they said there's such a major doping crisis in Kenya that we should not really trust the win of Kipchoge.
Or rather, they said that they thought we should be cautious about it.
Yeah, but I mean, for how long? Have you ever heard of a British marathon winner anywhere?
Let's just go with the fact that the cartoon is interesting, and he says that when they rain on your parade, you win anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know whether...
The thing is with this cartoon, and this irks me that Ozone took this line of thought. Why are we allowing the West to dictate how we should feel about our runners, our national heroes? The fact that yesterday on the headlines we're celebrating our runners, then he goes and he draws a cartoon like this, trying to make me feel bad that the Daily Mail, which writes rubbish,
all the time, yes.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Is questioning the integrity of our runners.
Yeah.
Nonsense. Ozone, he shouldn't do this. Shame on him.
No, Ozone, good job. We
I
have to
agree
defend
with
him.
you.
If
We
people are
have to-
taking shots at us, we take shots at them
This
as
is
well.
where's
do
the
not
shot?
let
There's
them-
no satire. There's no intellect. This is plain lazy. Number 3, what does it ask of us?
Is it effective or just plain lazy?
Plain lazy. Goodbye.
See,
Standard. Let's see what Gado has for us today. I see today we have fire from all angles. From me, from 2J to M.
It's because
We're waiting on
tomorrow's
you.
a public holiday.
Let me
So
tell
yeah, we
you.
can rest.
we were looking at this cartoon earlier. I had not seen what Gado is trying to say, but now I do.
All right, tell us.
Caricature of who
These
I
revelations.
think. Yes, I have seen it, and Gado is clever.
Okay.
Caricature of what I believe is KDF. KDF is firing at one cobra called Al-Shabaab. But behind him, he doesn't realize that this cobra has two heads.
Two more heads.
Two
I think
more
it's
heads.
three-headed.
Yes, it's a three-headed cobra.
Yeah.
It has two more heads. One head is IS, Islamic State, and the other one is Al-Qaeda. Now, I don't know whether you guys watched last night's interview of ISIS leader, a guy called Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, something like that.
Yeah.
A guy everybody thought the Russians had killed. But yesterday he showed up because they have lost the fight in Syria. But he showed up interviewing talking to three people, just showing that IS is still
Alive and well.
still alive and well. They have over 10,000 fighters thought to be in Iraq. And he's saying, you guys are just turning the gun on Al-Shabaab. You don't know the influence that ISIS and Al-Qaeda still have within your region. Your guns should be pointed at the three heads of the cobra.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw it, the first thing I got was that, I don't know if it's an analogy, you cut off one head and another grows elsewhere in its
Oh, kind of
place.
like the Hydra monster.
Exactly.
Yes, Hydra monster
That's
and
what
stuff.
I thought it was.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that with that context,
Yeah.
the cartoon makes sense. Can't deny that.
It makes a lot of sense.
But I'm not sure if it's effective. That's
Yeah.
No, Gado has another audience and he
very
plays.
true.
Very true, but I don't know. I don't find it effective. I don't find it satirical.
Yes.
Or I find it very pessimistic, even
If
though
anything,
it is a true representation of the interlinkages between IS, Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab.
Yes.
And it is definitely dry.
Yeah, it is dry.
No, it is.
Yeah,
But
I think the clarity of this being a representation of Kenya or KDF
Yes.
is not. That's
It's not
very
there.
clear.
It's not
Yeah.
clear. It could be anybody. It, could be
yeah.
any African.
look at his nose. It looks African.
Yes, African. But not necessarily Kenyan. Maybe
Are you
even
married?
West
Are you
African.
married to it? You're not.
I'm not married to that
No,
country.
not much.
All right. Finally, the Daily Nation.
Oh.
Dula is back.
Ndula,
Alright.
as much as I don't agree with your tune, I love it. Caricature of the master chef, Henry Rotich, CS Finance, cooking up figures. And you see he has a chef's,
a chef's hat, yeah.
hat.
But also, please note that
Yeah.
he has a chef's hat, which
Yes.
is white and very modern.
Yeah.
But the pot in which he's cooking is very traditional.
that's
It's
Three
very
stones.
traditional.
Yeah.
Three
And,
stones.
and what is inside? What is cooking inside the pot?
Our debt.
6.3.
No. Our GDP.
GDP.
Oh, it's our
Or
GDP. Oh,
growth.
6.3. Oh,
6.3%. Meaning that he's cooking up figures.
Yeah.
But behind him is glasses, right? And I don't know whether I think what did you call it? Rosy?
Rose-colored glasses. Yeah, because
Yes.
the caption here says Rotich's economy figures through rose-colored glasses.
Yes.
So rose-colored glasses, it's supposed to mean it's like a facade. It's you're looking at something with a more positive
Yes.
outlook
Yes.
than
What
should be.
actually
Yeah, than
is.
what the truth actually is.
If you were to take
Yes.
off the glasses,
So-
then you would see the reality for what it actually
And so I think the
was.
way he's drawn it is that the glasses are for the audience. It's for us.
Yes.
We are looking
through the
rose-colored glasses at what the numbers
at-
he's cooking.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought, okay, what I found funny was the chef's hat. I thought that was
I found funny the chef's hat and the three stones cooking pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found pessimistic the fact that we are the Kenyans who are being lied to and looking at him through rose-colored glasses and being so optimistic at the growth of Kenya, bearing in mind that a couple of days ago we spoke about the difference between growth and development.
Yeah.
And maybe growth does come before development, and I'm trying to be hopeful here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was an okay cartoon,
I think it's okay. In my view, probably better than the rest.
but does better mean that it's a winning cartoon?
Nope.
Nah, agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, we toss it.
Where am
And
I?
what is our final thought as we head into Labor Day?
And now, our final thought. It is inspired by a book entitled 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And we dedicate this book to Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, we are going to speak about 3 laws in this book. And June, you want to lead us?
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
So the first law we're going to talk about is law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. So in this chapter, he discusses how your friends, the people closest to you, are the
Yeah.
ones most likely to end up stabbing you in the back
Yeah.
because they get caught up with envy, with jealousy, or they know your closest secrets. So he says that your friends will always betray you. So what you should do is you should use your enemies. And if you don't have an enemy, you should make an enemy. So as we've dedicated this first rule and the next 2 to Uhuru Kenyatta,
Yeah.
the question we want to, or rather the statement we want to address is that a leader should always have have an adversary.
Right.
Ms. Kay, I think there were some historical notes you wanted to bring up.
Yes, and good leaders in the past, our own leaders have always had an adversary because an adversary does what? They always keep you on your toes,
Yes.
keep you moving, you never get lazy, you're always innovating.
Yes.
I mean, Jomo Kenyatta had a good adversary and a worthy adversary in Oginga Odinga. Moi had one in Kibaki, Kibaki had one in Raila, and Uhuru used to have one in Raila as well.
So right now the problem we're seeing is that Uhuru has no enemies. The handshake co-opted opposition entirely, and so now he's just standing with a bunch of friends.
Yes.
And so we want to tell the president, you need to find an enemy.
And if you can't find one,
You make one. And that's very easy. Yeah.
and in the event that you and your enemy disagree, then law number 15 says crush your enemy totally. And you're not supposed to sympathize with your enemies. I mean, the president won Raila Odinga fair and square in an election. And afterwards, Raila Odinga went and swore himself in. And then instead of using this opportunity to decimate him completely, he gave him a handshake and co-opted him into government and lost an enemy.
Yeah.
But you see, this is the thing. When you have an enemy is like a viper. You don't take a viper, and then as you're killing it, you have a moment of pity and mercy on this viper, and you decide, I'm not going to kill you. Then you nurse the viper back to health. This viper is inherently evil. The viper will just heal as it builds in more and more anger and venom towards you. And once it bites you, it will bite you back with twice the venom. So,
And the
Sun
vengeance.
Tzu, this is a strategic tenet of Sun Tzu. You have your enemy, you crush him totally.
Yes.
No stopping, no holding back,
Yes.
no forgiveness.
Yes.
And I will give you a bit of advice from the Lord of the Rings. Show them no mercy, for you will receive none.
Amen.
Guy.
I
Now,
think Tuan is confused.
you know, I was going to say something, but you've probably killed one. No, but I'll say it anyway.
You have your third law.
I have my third law.
Yes,
and
you do.
It comes from law number 18. And it says, do not build a fortress to protect yourself. And I will say this, with all due respect. Power abhors a vacuum. If you have left 5.6 million voters out there in the wilderness, and you went and you built your own ivory tower up there, and you removed the wire that links you to the ground.
Kicked away the ladder.
Yeah. Then you expect people like Moses Kuria to start their own parties. Look.
And call it TNA.
Yes. And I want to ground it. I want to ground it this way. You know, when Uhuru Kenyatta wants to go and connect with the masses, with the people, he goes to Mudhurwa, or he goes to Githurai, or he goes to somewhere in Mushadha or Banana or somewhere. You know why? Because that is where his power is resident. Now, Moses Kuria is not behaving that way because he knows the masses will not, will disagree with him. Right now, the masses probably do agree with him. But it is because the king has left his people. There is no connection between the king and his people, or the king and his masses. And therefore, I do think Uhuru should do something drastic to reconnect back with his people. Do something, chase away cabinet. You know, you even force Maraga to what do you call it?
Dissolve parliament. Yeah.
You know?
My goodness.
Do
Send us
something
back to the
drastic.
ballot box.
Reconstitute your power. Create hegemony again. It is the only way back.
It's very true.
People are playing with you because you cannot be seen. They cannot see you. So,
and 2M, if I could connect your point with the second rule, when you said power abhors a vacuum.
Right.
The importance of this one of you need to learn how to use your enemies is at the same time you have to ensure that you do have enemies.
Right.
So when you say power abhors a vacuum, when we have no opposition, there's a vacuum there in that opposition. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the president has an opportunity right now to create an enemy for himself.
So an enemy that he can control, an enemy that he can manipulate, and an enemy that will continually keep him relevant.
Yes.
Anything that is ignored will be soon forgotten.
Yeah.
This is Winning Headlines. Have a great Labor Day. We had no winning cartoon, no winning headline. Please give us something on Thursday. Enjoy your Labor Day.